Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy everybody, and welcome to the Apex Racing Academy for the Renault 2.0 Championship here at beautiful Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course here in, well, Mid-Ohio. I'm Austin Knight. I am joined by Sam Fitzpatrick, and we got Marco Bobner in the production booth, and you're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
And it's not the normal Mid-Ohio that we are showing you tonight. We have got the chicane layout. Personally, Austin, my first ever time broadcasting a race on this layout. I certainly know it's the first ever Apex Racing League event on this layout. What experience have you got around this place?
I have a lot of experience around Mid-Ohio in real life, in virtual life, and also on the back of an ambulance, but we aren't going to talk much about that one. Yeah, this place is extremely fun, very hilly, a lot of ups and downs. It's not the most racy track, but it really is going to be great. Also, for y'all watching YouTube, we're at Mid-Ohio, not Monza. Typos. Somebody needs to get that fixed.
Yeah,
it will probably be fixed if you're watching the VOD, it's going to say Mid-Ohio. If you're watching it live, yeah, they see it right. They're going to see it right now. But Power of Magic and post-production, it'll be right. But yeah, everything about this place is very tricky, and you got to really get a great lap around here to really feel the oomph about it. I got to say, Thunder Valley is one of my favorite sections of course in all of racing.
Yeah, I've always said that this place is the Hungarian of North America. I'm not sure how accurate that is, to be fair. Some
Not
people
at
made
all.
it to be not at all. Okay, but my defense of that would be it's got a lot of kind of slow speed, medium speed corners, no proper long straights as well, and yeah,
That
a
you
little
are
bit of
right.
elevation change as well. Not massive elevation change, but a little bit of elevation change. Anyway, it is a good circuit, this, and yeah, like I said, with the chicane layout, should be something extra for the drivers to tackle with. Probably going to make overtaking more tricky, and going to make the run at the end of the back straight even more important. Here is that this kind of extra little section that the drivers have got to deal with. And yeah, it should be quite satisfying to drive through, I imagine, but yeah, for the racing parts, that is not going to be great. We were previously showing the championship standings, and it's currently Pascal Sticks and his teammate Carl Winkler leading the way for Core Sim Racing, Hussein in 3rd position, those two very close, and then also Glamsetter and Russell super close in the amateurs. So watch out for certainly Glamsetter, Russell, Sticks and Winkler. They're all going for the title, and they've all established themselves either this season or in previous ARL seasons as being very even drivers. So do watch out for those battles in the professional and the amateur categories respectively, as the drivers are about to complete their first lap times. These laps will be getting done very quickly.
Yeah, the laps around here are very quick, very fast. It's when you get into your race, it's going to be very tricky. 1 minute 20-second lap times. That chicane not really going to be a big hamper, but it will be a hamper on those tires, because that extra angle off the exit is going to be putting a lot of more wear on those left side tires when they do that old 180-degree turn, which is now about 270 degrees. They're adding a little bit more angle, about 45 more degrees. That math is completely bad, but they're adding a lot more angle into that turn, so the tire wear is going to be a big factor here today, because it is the double race format, I believe, today, right?
Yeah, just the 2 races tonight, 25
So
minutes.
longer race,
for
more
each
wear
one.
of the tires.
Yeah, and I think that's similar length to what the official series races are like. Not everyone in this series races in the official series. It's not necessarily the most popular. So I do believe this is the kind of premier race that you get in the from the Renault 2.0 car nowadays. So a few drivers may have experience with the tyre wear. A few drivers will be going into it a little bit, yeah, a bit newer. But yeah, there are some long corners for these drivers to deal with, as we see Newman trying to tackle the final couple. That's out through that kind of kink right at the end of that. Winkler goes to the top with a very fast time. Hussein improves. Newman quite far off at the moment, and Sticks now wedges himself up into 3rd position, but still a while back from Winkler, and currently Glam sets at top of the amateur drivers. Russell now setting his first lap time, and he goes to 9th position just behind his championship rival. Still a long way to go in qualifying, and these drivers do get plenty of attempts. Now, Austin and I have been told that the long straight is called the Austin Knight Memorial Straight. Can you explain that to me?
Not officially, but here on Apex Racing TV, I guess that is. Thanks, Marco. I guess it is. So the entire story about the Austinite Memorial Straight goes to my Memorial Straight as a professional racing driver, and going into all that stuff. And back in 2013 in USF 2000, when I used to race there, I was on 4th in the grid, and heading to green flag, right down this straight, because we're using the IndyCar green light. You see where that Honda sign is? That's where the green flag was waved. Around here, my back end was hit, and I was slammed into that wall on the right-hand side. My front right tires popped off the car and smacked me in the head. I then woke up a few hours down the road in the hospital. Yeah. And that's how I ended up here with you lot. And there is footage of the crash.
Well, I remember I do remember seeing a real popular crash on YouTube, and so I don't think that's the same one. But yeah, down that back straight once again.
There was about 11 cars involved.
Yeah, sounds pretty messy. And well, at least we can escape any concerns like that around this in the sim world. But you know, professional racing's loss is TV's gain, Austin. So very happy to have you here to take us through. Yes, take us through the action. Now up to 15 drivers setting times. That should be, I believe, everyone has set a time now. They sure have. So everyone's at least got a base lap in. Just trying to edge a little bit more pace out. Winkley, you can see highlighted his position box with red. Now toes back to the pit, so he's going to have to come back in and then do an out lap and then do another fast lap. We're riding aboard with Lloyd Barb, who came close to a race win last time out, and he's currently in 7th position, just behind his teammates, a second off the pace. He does cut down that margin a little bit, but still not quite enough to get within those other drivers. And once again, Austin, we're kind of seeing those top 7 cars. Good to see Sandstrom back after a week's break, but those top 7 really establishing their dominance on the series. There seems to be quite a gap between them and then the best amateurs just behind.
Yeah, the best of everyone behind them is, well, Christian Glamstetter has been on a roll lately. He's been putting some really good laps in there. I do know that Christian does race in the official series a lot. This is one of his favorite cars out there. And he's been putting on a very consistent show in the Amateur Championship. So, you know, Christian, he just has to work on consistency, because I remember back in Spain, he just kept having a little bit of issue here and there. As this is Sandstrom heading into the pit lane, and the pit lane's on the outside of the carousel turn. Shouldn't be expecting anybody to dive in the pit lane today, but if you do, you know, they just go wide in the carousel, and there's a lot of long turns here around Mid-Ohio. Mid-Ohio, more of a sports car course, it's in the name, than a single-seaters course, but, you know, the lower single-seaters, this place is really fun. IndyCar does like to run here, though that race doesn't provide a lot of overtaking action. It does provide a lot of strategy action, and this year during the IndyCar race, that came down to the wire between Newgarden and I believe Pelot. I am not. No, it was Newgarden and Ericsson. Marcus Ericsson. He didn't hit him. And that came down to the wire within the final few laps. They were battling rain. They were battling tire wear and everything. And you know, that was a very fun IndyCar race at the end. Sports cars, IMSA loves coming here, as well as other sports car series. GT America does come here as well, as we go through Thunder Valley over that hump. As Hussein gets the back end kicked out just a little bit over the top of that hump, and that is probably my favorite part of the track, as going a little bit wide in turn 1 goes a few cars. But yeah, Thunder Valley, these 2 corners are so tricky, as that's Barb feeling the thunder, as well as somebody else there as well. Yeah, Sandstrom. Sandstrom went around as well.
I don't think he was going to get the time in anyway. Would have been close. But yeah, he will start in 6th position, it looks like, because, well, in fact, he would have actually got the time, wouldn't he? Because he's fairly close anyway. But there is the checker flag. We advance straight over to race 1, and cost 25 minutes for each race. 6-car inverted grid for race 2. But here is the grid for race 1.
Yeah, Carl Winkler starting up on pole, followed by the Dr. Navidi Hussein in 2nd place. Pascal Stix and Sven Newman right behind them, followed by Sebastian Morin, Jesper Sandstrom, Luke Barb, Christian Glamstetter, Will Ryan, Philip Russell, Rickard Bauberg, and Andy Moore in 12th place. They're followed by Hans Verhey, Paul Clothier and Sean Shipley at the back of our 15-car grid. It's going to be a standing start here on the front straight, not the Austinite Memorial straight. So it's going to be a very short run up to turn 1. And turn 1 on that apex is a giant bump for the pit exit. You do not want to hit that bump, upset the car, or else you're going to be sent around in front of everybody else. And, you know, I don't know if anybody watches the Apex Racing TV Ray Esports series on Monday nights, but that's exactly what happened on the MX5 round of the runoffs that they had in their series finale. And, you know, some cars that started in 9th place had a very good exit, went from 9th all the way down to all the way up to 3rd place in that corner because of that incident. Totally wasn't me. I wouldn't have the skills to do that.
No, well, we're all aware of that. Yeah, no doubt. At the moment, Carl Winkler is the only driver who hasn't got onto the grid. We sometimes see the pole sitter leaving it just to the last moment, but he is finally on there, and we're about to get the lights out and going.
Yeah, 5 red lights. Let's go racing here at Mid-Ohio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's green, green, green. And look at us start by the 2nd row. Already getting right behind. They're side by side. Hussein and Winkler are going side by side. Pascal Sticks is up there as well, heading into turn 1 side by side. Through turn 1 they go. Now Hussein is on the inside. They have the apex and the inside line heading into the chicane. Hussein, Winkler, Sticks is on the gearbox of Winkler right now as they head into the chicane, and now that long carousel type corner of turn, well, what is usually called turn 2, and now down that long straightaway. And you can see the field is kind of already spread about from that.
And Hussein has struggled with the starts for most of this season. Certainly last time out at Barcelona he was struggling for them in race 1, race 2. Absolutely nailed it tonight, and he's taken a crucial lead. As they got
no!
That is the Cube Racing car of Marin, who managed to take a race win last time out. Unfortunately spinning round, and he is right to the back of the chain, fortunately not picking up any significant damage at least. Newman held off a real strong attack from Sandstrom in the early stages to hold on to the 4th place, and Ryan and Glamsets have been switching places a lot and losing each other a lot of time. They're already 4 seconds off the lead, are those two drivers. It seems like Ryan, the Australian, has finally got ahead, but well, Hussein's kind of done the tough bit. He knew that he had to take the lead off the start, and now he just needs to try to hang on to it for the next 25 minutes.
Yeah, now that the first lap is done, you just got to worry about the cars behind you or the cars ahead of you, and just start linking corners together, you know, putting your head down, focusing on your race, and trying to shake the car behind you. The draft is not going to be as powerful with that shortened straightaway, so you're really going to have to just link it up after that 2nd straight and try to pull a gap, try to make them into a mistake through Thunder Valley as well. And then it's all smooth sailing right here. But usually we see this at Mid-Ohio. We got little pods of cars racing with each other, and not a lot of people in that clean air due to an incident here or there. But yeah, 3-car pod for the lead, and then in the back we've got 2 pod cars for 14th, 15th, 12th, and 13th, and I believe 9th through 11th are in a 3-car pod as well.
Yeah, Marin will kind of just be latching on to each one as Vahij is round. And how has this one happened? Has this been due to contact? No, he was pretty much by himself.
Might have got a bit
it
wide.
looks like it's going to be a bit of a unforced error. Was behind Philip Russell, so was in 10th position, and then loses the car by himself. But it may have actually been Bobo who he was behind. And yeah, fantastic corner. I think that's Austin, very underrated.
It is fun.
I think it's very well designed.
It's very fun. The curb on the inside, that's what he tipped the wheel on, upset the car, made him go around. As this is Sebastian Moore going on to the inside, heading into turn 1, pretty much flat. Just the lift, you don't need a brake in these cars. It's flat out in a few other cars, but heading into turn 1 right there is always fun, no matter which car you're in. It's either just brushing the brakes, fully lifting off, or you know, just a slight lift off the pedal, or full flat through there. It's so fast, and it's such a fun corner. This entire track just brings a smile to your face, no matter what. But this corner, like you said, is very fun. It's after the hard braking zone. You swing it up there, you're at the top of the hill, then you dive all the way down to Thunder Valley as Bobberg and Russell are off in the wall. Oh no. And Bobberg is trying to get his car pointing the right way, but he's got suspension damage, he's got wing damage as well. That car does not want to be looking like that. Let's take a replay, see what's happened here. They're side by side heading into China Harbor as, oh, he's just closed off that inside right there. And Philip Russell, well, sent it straight into there.
Yeah, I saw those two changing, and Boberg with a really good run of form recently. He's had a real upturn in pace, kind of out of nowhere. Established driver in the Formula 3 Series, Boberg, but really seems to be getting the hang of this Formula Renault 2.0 car. Unfortunately, he needs to come back to the pits, and well, fortunately for him at least, it's the shortest pit lane we visit all season long, Russell being able to continue. I wonder if you get a replay of what happened to Shipley a lap or two ago, because he is now down to 15th position, and you can see him going around the final few corners. So I think this is how he lost maybe a position to Bahij initially, and then sliding on, and Shipley all out at sea right there.
Oh, I can't believe he did that.
Just to be clear, I only asked for that replay because of if it makes you feel any better.
Well, he's probably out in Lake Erie right now, which is just above, it's about an hour's drive away from shore to mid-Ohio, Lake Erie. But yeah, Sean Shipley is, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to cross the sea over to you and slap you across the face with that one. I would too.
I think he'll be going to shake my hand, honestly. You can see a good comedian when he hears one. Bahij has made a mistake, and he's dropped down to see, well, he's still in 13th, but he's lost about 5 seconds, it seems. And still, he's saying leading the way. Glamsets are now comfortably top of the outers. It seems like Russell is dropping back then, so Russell on that last lap after that contact. Well, actually, no, Russell's time was good. It was just that spin, wasn't it? And sorry, as Winkler has taken the lead, he's been able to get past Hussein, or has he? Because he's got the inside line. Hussein trying to muscle him out on the outside. Now they're alongside over the crest, which surely going to be the course sim racing car. He manages to get the upper hand. He's made the overtake, and after losing the leader in the early stages, Carl Winkler is back ahead here at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, through Thunder Valley, they go up the crest, and look at Hussein. Hussein is right on the gearbox. They got a little short straight right here until that quick left-hander gets onto the brakes, bottom out the car, actually. Carl Winkler did into the carousel. Now, you can get really cheeky with your lines right here. Watch Pascal sticks. You can see Hussein taking a much tighter line throughout that entire corner. You can take a wider line through there and try to get up alongside of the car. But that short straight, you know, we have seen a few cars get a better run through the carousel and able to get the car looking up the inside. But right now, we got 25 minutes on the clock here. The top three, all of them, they know that this race is a little bit long. The race is not over if you lose the lead immediately. Unlike what Christian Glamsetter has done, he's gone around and he's going to take the escape route. And it looks like he's just had a late turn in. He might have gone into the grass here. Oh, he's already losing it. No.
Wow, that was Marin, who had to deviate slightly in order to avoid him. And that means that it's now Andy Moore for Velocity Motorsports, the leader of the amateur category. And also nicely divides up our pros up there in the top 8. And our AMs down from 9th to 15th at the moment.
Yeah,
that is.
Something I love about the series. It's the most balanced, properly balanced Apex Racing League Academy series that we do run. You know, the car skill is even right there. You don't see that in a lot of the Apex Racing leagues or academies. I know some skills in the MX-5, everybody varies, but you know, we do have some bleed over right there, as this is the fight for The amateur lead goes back to Philip Russell as he gets a very good fight through the carousel right there. The only lead that is 100% perfect is the Apex Racing League Pro and Am GT Championships, as they are held separately.
Yes. Particularly good admins in that one, as Styx trying to get underneath. So Hussein, crucially, has lost the chart, and it was interesting to hear. I'm not entirely sure which driver it was, but I mean, I think we could kind of see it from the commentary box to be fair back at Barcelona. But if you're within half a second, at Barcelona at least, you could gain half a second down the pit straight. If you're any more than that, no draft whatsoever. It's either, you know, really strong draft or no draft whatsoever. And at the moment, Winkler's got that gap up to about 6/10, and that's where the draft pretty much doesn't make any effect. So just see Hussein here, does he gain a whole lot of time? He is gaining, so he is still just about within the slipstream. But if that gets more than, yeah, that was about 5.5 tenths there, that maybe gets to 6 or 7 tenths, then he might lose it completely. So, well, this has been an awesome lap here from Hussein. Look at him gap Styx and really charge up to the back of Winkler as well. So Hussein's got good pace, but it has driven it a bit too deep there for the keyhole.
Yeah, it's gotten a little bit deep in that massive keyhole turn that usually isn't that big, but with the chicane adding a little bit more turning, it's going to be putting a lot of stress on these tires. And I'm going to be very interested to see how these drivers are going to tackle tire wear here. Tire wear is going to be showing its big head here today, as all these drivers are going to have a longer race, as we got a side-by-side fight right here. Will Ryan, Sebastian Morin, and Sebastian up on to the inside. He might get another position. That's Sven Newman that was spun around ahead of him. The German just getting his car pointed straight right now, as Sebastian Morin makes that move on Ryan right there.
Yeah, I think that was Morin defending from Ryan. I'm surprised quite how quick Ryan has been, because he seemed a bit detached from those drivers in qualifying, didn't he? He was about half a second slower. Yeah, he's been... Apologies, no, you were right, Austin. Sorry for saying that. You were wrong. That was Morin passing Ryan, because of course Morin had the problem earlier on, so apologies for that one. But yeah, up into seventh place. And now with that spin from Newman, as Winkler runs wide there, with the spin from Newman, remember, inverted grid of 6 for race 2. So it's going to be very important for Newman to try to hang on to that position, as Hussein is gaining here. Last time, or at least how Winkler managed to get past Hussein, seemed as though Hussein didn't cover the inside line. And, well, Newman was quite happy just to take it. I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do. I imagine Winkler will probably be defending a little bit harder. We're not even halfway through this race yet, but well, the momentum seems to be ebbing and flowing. You know, one moment Winkler's the fastest, next it's Hussein, and next it's Styx. Really, any of these three men could still end up winning this race one of the evening.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen Styx really go for a move out here just yet for the lead. When it comes down to it, within the final 5 minutes, we're definitely going to be seeing Styx try to make a few moves, and might create a little bit of gap from Hussein and Winkler if he starts going on to starts trying to make moves for that second place and help out his teammate just a little bit, ease off the pressure of him by putting some pressure on the Doctor right behind him, because he's getting a lot of run down that straightaway. Heading into Harbor, as Hussein goes a little bit wide through the keyhole once more. This is going to be helping his straight line speed, though. Off the exit, but Pascal Styx is still right with him. And watch Hussein. Hussein's going to have a good run, but he's not going to be there enough. He can still look down the inside and just scare him, but he's going to back it off right there. Now's not the time to really still start sending in some big moves right there, but... you know, still, we've seen a few drivers do this throughout the series. Just study the car ahead of them. They've been following cars throughout most of this race, seeing where they're fast at, seeing where they aren't, seeing how much they can gain, and then backing out at a certain point. We might be seeing that happen right now with Pascal Styx, and the doctor on Carl Winkler, because Winkler, he's not able to really pull away from these top three. They're all evenly matched. Now, these cars they're all in that draft range. That straight is really helping them right there. But look at their times, 121.3 and then 121.1, 121.1. They are faster. They're just constantly staying behind them because they can't really find a 100%er spot that they can really get past him.
And these are the top three in the championship, remember, as well. And Hussein's got some catching up to do. He's had the pace to rival these guys. Maybe Winkler and Sticks have had a slight pace advantage, but certainly not as much as the points difference would suggest. Hussein was very quick in qualifying at Nürburgring, but then proceeded to have a poor start and has really failed to maximise his results. I think he has only got one race win this season, which from about the 10 races that we've done is a huge underachievement. Struggled on the race starts back at Barcelona as well, at least in race 1 and race 2. So he needs to start getting back the points, and a race win here would be a very good start to that as we head into the second half of the season. And we are now in 8 meetings, this meeting number 5. And well, at least it seems like he's backing off down the back straight at the moment, so maybe has the opportunity to overtake, but is yeah, just trying to maybe get even closer, make the move even easier for himself. Doesn't quite gain a whole lot around that entire lap, but just interesting to see how these drivers are taking this this keyhole section. Hussein driving it in much deeper into the hairpin, squaring off the corner, getting a better exit, but of course it does lose you some speed mid-corner.
Yeah, that's what's good for Sticks, but Sticks, he's not getting that top end speed, and he's slowly being dropped by these two. So Hussein is definitely doing something right as Winkler goes down to the inside, goes defensive, and this is going to be very interesting. Watch Winkler and Hussein, because Winkler is going to have a much tighter exit. This is allowing Sticks to get back there. Hussein right onto the gearbox off the exit. Winkler's back end wiggling a lot. It was really preloaded after that much tighter entry right there. So that's going to be hurting his tires when Pascal Sticks is caught up to this group once again. And Carl Winkler taking that defensive line, allowing Sticks to catch back up with them. But this fight for the lead, it's now starting to heat up. We have 9 minutes remaining here on the clock at Mid-Ohio, as we got a fight for 12th place. Clothier losing a spot to Hans ahead of him, and I believe he might have had a mistake heading into the keyhole.
Yeah, they were fairly close beforehand, but he seemed to kind of gain that position quite early in the straight, didn't he? And, so yeah, probably a slight slide for him, but he, of course, with that problem earlier on, and so seemingly has the pace over his rival 8 tenths of a second past. Unfortunately for Hans, he's 18 seconds behind the next car, so I don't think that's going to catch, as Hussein is now really on the slipstream now of Winkler. Goes to the outside. I think he's attacking too much. He kind of could have got a bit more of that slipstream, but maybe just almost indicating the fact that he doesn't want to attack by dipping out of it. And what Winkler could really do with here is his teammate to actually make a move, but Sticks, I don't know if he's being patient or whether he is generally struggling to keep up with these guys, but he's really not showing any nose at Hussein so far, apart from maybe that one lap, I think at lap 4 or 5, where they came quite close.
Well, within the few laps that Winkler and Hussein were just nose-tail with each other, and Hussein wasn't making any moves and they didn't deter from the line, they were dropping Sticks. Now that Winkler's taking that much tighter line through the keyhole, just staying right there, breaking off that track, Sticks is able to stay with them and stay within Hussein's draft. But what Hussein needs to do is stay tight with Winkler, stay within that draft, and pull away from Sticks, because Sticks doesn't really seem to be attached to them as tight as Winkler and Hussein are to each other. And you can see that Sticks is very poor through that chicane. They gained a lot of time on him right there. And about half a second difference. Now Hussein looking down to the inside into the keel. Winkler staying wide. And look at this. You can see the difference between the top two and Pascal Sticks. Sticks is struggling for pace in that opening section. It's a very awkward section for him, and it does seem like that chicane is his downfall. Or are those his tires now starting to give up right there, because they are really punishing him right now.
Shout out to one of the title sponsors for this series, Apex Racing Academy. Very kindly giving all the entrants to this series a 1-month free subscription, and so many of these drivers will be using the Apex Racing Academy setups designed, I believe, by Peter Bayman. He's been having some great results in the IR01 World Championship series recently. And of course, if you want to get setups designed by him and other, top quality Apex Racing team drivers, do visit apexracingac.com, and yeah, you can go get those setups and track guides for a variety of 28 other cars, from prototype single seaters, GTs, even the touring car is covered, and rallycross cars as well. So big thanks to them for helping us out on the series, as Hussein is closer than he has been for the entire race, and if he wants to go for this one, he certainly could do.
Got the opportunity right here.
Again.
Oh my gosh, he's in the grass!
He's trying to go for the dummy. It hasn't quite worked. That was absolutely remarkable there from Hussein. He came out of absolutely nowhere. It looked like it was going to be what he's done for the whole race so far, just waiting behind. But he went for the sneak attack. There wasn't quite a gap for him, but this war has well and truly started.
Heikkinen eats your heart out. All 4 wheels in the grass, and somehow did not spin out right there. Got back onto the outside of Hussein, of Winkler, and Hussein looked like if he wanted to, he still could have gone for the move around the outside right there. That was totally nutty, and I think Winkler left it off for that as well. He saw what was happening. He was like, I do not want any part in this, and this allows Sticks to get right back with him again. 3/10 separating each car right here.
And that was the closest that Hussein had been for the entire race, really. He was really close across the start-finish line. He managed to really nail this part of the track. He was only, I think, 0.22 behind onto the power around this section. You can see this time he's 4.5 tenths behind, and Sticks again really struggling, isn't he? Around that part of the track, just cannot stay close. So Hussein really wanted to go for it there, and he is running out of opportunities. He's only going to have maybe 2 or 3 more chances, but you see that even when he was 4.5 tenths behind at the start of the straight, he was almost within passing range. So really, as long as he's within about 3 tenths, which has been several times so far in this race, he should be in a good chance for me.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes remaining here, and the opportunities for the Doctor to make his move are slimming down, but that move that we saw from him going into the grass was pretty much the tell of where he's going to be going to make that move, and I won't be surprised if Carl Winkler takes the rest of this race tight on the inside, heading into Harbor, as well, Hussein is right on his tail right now, and it's going to be a tight race to the end between these two as we rocket through turn 1 and into that weird chicane, which is used as the pit road for the oval variant of the track layout here on iRacing. And this oval variant, I must say, is the weirdest oval in all of iRacing, as it's clockwise, and turns 3 and 4 are negatively banked, so it is extremely awkward to race on, if it's ever raced on and used in official series.
We've used some weird layouts so far this season. I think the chicane layout of this might just take the biscuit. I think even that layout, the oval, is too bizarre for this car. I do sometimes question why those North American circuits have such weird kind of mini Legends ovals, but no, it is there. As Hussein really gains considerably. We've got 2 more minutes to go. That means 2 more laps to go. They're doing 81-second lap times at the moment. You can see how Sticks has pulled away, as he just had a bit of a spin. Also, Barb and Newman are fairly close to one another, so you can just keep an eye on the timing tower for those two getting close. Newman catching for a while. but Hussein a couple of hundredths faster, but well, he seemed to lose a little bit of time actually through the final couple of corners on that lap, and now the gap's up to 0.6 of a second, and well, this is the most comfortable that Winkler's been for a long time.
Yeah, Hussein has put down his fastest lap ever, and Winkler was just 0.02 of a second slower than that, but he's just been punishing Hussein right there. Winkler putting on the gas, and he's playing some games on the straight now, going tight, then going out wide. 4/10 separate them heading into Harbor, and now Hussein really has to get aggressive as he's just got one more lap, one more chance and opportunity to go. This is Glamsetter behind Moore. Moore's back end kicking out as well. Tires really becoming an issue. Look how much steering input Glamsetter's putting in through the keyhole right there.
Yeah, that was insane, wasn't it? The car wasn't doing anything.
Understeer City.
It's just going to overheat the tyres even more, and it's going to be that that left front which is going to feel the heat around this circuit more. Just about enough. Glamsetter's really not far off Russell by the end. I mean, Russell's only 2 seconds ahead of these guys, another 2 laps, and I think Glamsetter would have got some after his innocuous spin earlier on from the lead. But I think he should be able to pass Moore here. Just needs to. Well, I guess the problem is there's really only one overtaking opportunity around this entire circuit. I mean, maybe turn 1, but then it's at the end of the back straight. But he's going to find himself a new overtake this time for Glamsetter around the outside. Very cautious as Moore on the inside, and Glamsetter is back up into second place in the ABS as we cut to the leaders.
Winkler is being caught by Hussein. Hussein's got one last opportunity, 2/10 back. He's looking down the inside. This is going to be a dummy of a set. He is still on that gearbox right there. He used everything to his disposal and did not make contact with him. He's going to be putting a lot of pressure on Carl Winkler right now, sticking his nose on the inside, just trying to make Winkler play by the mirrors right here. But, you know, I don't think he is looking in his mirrors. He can have a good run heading up into the carousel right now, but that will be the last opportunity for Hussein. Carl Winkler and Hussein heading into the carousel. Winkler taking it tight. Hussein going very wide, trying for a faster exit. Coming out onto the front short straight. It's going to be a drag race. It's not going to be close, though. Winkler takes the win, followed by Hussein in second place, and Pesca 6 in third here in race number 1.
Yeah, that's a good win there for Winkler. It was tricky to tell who was faster between himself and Hussein. Hussein taking the lead off the line at the start. Winkler managing to get back past. And it seemed like Hussein, I don't know about you, Austin, he should have really gone for the move earlier. I know we saw that big dummy from him, but well, those last few laps he was struggling to get into a position to overtake when maybe earlier on in the race was his big opportunity.
Yeah, when he had that opportunity to go down to the inside, when he went onto the outside, looked onto the inside, got all 4 wheels on the grass, that was the best opportunity that he had. It's the closest opportunity he had. He could have held it around the outside if he didn't go onto the inside, because that would have set you up for the inside of that much tighter second part of that corner. This track loves flowing. After a left-hand corner, it's a right-hand corner. After a right-hand corner, it's a left-hand corner. After a hill, there's a valley. And, you know, this track really this track is really flowing. So he could have had the opportunity to stay onto the inside right there and the outside, but he went down to the inside once more. Winkler was there, and that really didn't help him out. But now it's time to take a little bit of a break, and then we'll be right back here on Apex Racing TV for race number 2. And welcome back to the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. After a race 1, we are here ready for race 2. 25 minutes back up on the clock. Top 6 will be reversed, but here is our, thank you Marco, here is our race 1 results. Carl Winkler takes the win, followed by Navidi Hussein, Pascal 6, Jesper Sandstrom, and Loic Barb and Sven Newman will be reversed. Sven Newman will be starting up on pole. Starting in 7th for race number 2 will be Sebastian Moore and Will Ryan. Philip Russell took the win for the AMS Championship, even after having that incident early on. They still won. They're followed by Christian Glamsetter, who is trying to take back that win after a bad spin. They got back up in a 10th place. They're followed by Andy Moore, Ricker Bogberg, Hans Verhey in 13th, and Paul Clothier in 14th, followed by Sean Shipley at the end of the grid, who is looking for a good finish as well. But yeah, race number 1, how would you sum it up, really?
Close, I think, between those top 3. Really, I mean, I keep on saying it, but honestly, I'm not sure who was the faster out of the 2 of them. I think the tyres as well became a bit of a factor, as you were predicting, Austin. Near the end of the race, it seemed like a lot of drivers were understeering quite a bit out there. So yeah, should be an interesting race 2 with the reverse grid coming up. Of course, top 6 inverted, and I mean, Jesper Sandstrom, who we're now watching, finished a very quiet 4th place, but his pace wasn't bad. I think on average he was about 0.3 of a second a lap slower than the top 3. Now, I don't think that's going to be enough for him to hold on, but it might be enough for him to hold on for a bit, at least, and because he hasn't got a championship to concern himself about, Jesper, so it could be quite aggressive. So, yeah, we'll see if he can maybe keep behind those top 3 drivers. He will be starting in 3rd himself, so he won't exactly have a clear run at turn 1. By the way, quick shout out to SDK Gaming, because you're seeing a trailer for them just in that break between race 1 and race 2. SDK Gaming providing this amazing overlay. You might be wondering how we get these graphics up. SDK Gaming is how we get the graphics up, and it's so easy to use. You download the live timing application, you download the HUD application, and you just put in the same room name, and magically it all works for you. And you can customize it loads. There's lots of different templates that you can use for NASCAR. Of course, F1, this one is kind of inspired by. So yeah, do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk for more details on yeah, this software. As warm-up is over, and we are about to start the gridding process for race 2.
Yeah, race 2 about to be underway, and here is our grid once again. Sven Newman will be starting up on pole. As we look down the field, you know, top 6 were reversed. Navidi Hussein had a great start, as well as Pascal Sticks. Are we going to be seeing that 2nd and 3rd row really get a better jump up there and try to challenge that front row, or are we going to be seeing the field kind of bunch up at the start?
I'm going to go for a bold call here. I'm going to say Sticks is going to be leading heading into turn 1. I think he's just going to dart his way through. Watch it.
I'm going to say that might be true, but heading into the chicane. There might be an incident heading into the chicane. We're going to find out. 5 red lights coming on, and it's green, green, green. A lot of wheel spin by Newman. Barb immediately right beside Hussein and Sticks jump. Sandstrom right there. Sandstrom had a dog of a start side by side heading into turn 1 right now. Newman and Barb. Barb and Newman, look who's right behind. There's Pascal Sticks. They're going side by side into the chicane. Sticks trying to make it 3 wide right there. Side by side into the chicane. Pascal Sticks, very great start. Jumping up into 3rd place after Sandstrom had a dog of a start. And Barb's looking down to the inside immediately coming out of the keyhole.
Yeah, it wasn't quite the race lead for Pascal Stix, but it wasn't bad for him in third place. Is Newman going to have the pace? It seems like he's all right against Barb. He wasn't really able to pick up a whole lot of overspeed, honestly, down that back straight. Look at Morin tried to pass Hussein. That's a surprise move right there, but I think Hussein's going to be able to hold on to this.
Stix is off the track!
Stix, and he's dropped down one of the championship contenders, remember, and he's down behind Sandstrom as well. So Stix, with that crucially important start, was ahead of his teammate. He's still ahead of Winkler at least, so poor start for the top two in the championship. As we got round, that's Morin who spun it round after a great start.
After a great start in Thunder Valley, lightning strikes on Sebastian Morin. Paul Clothier went around in the same spot that Pascal Stix went off the track right there. Here's a replay. It's just that hump just gets you so much. It makes contact with the wall right there as well. As we look at our race lead, Sven Newman and Loic Barb. 1, 2, then the Doctor, Sandstrom, Stix, Winkler, and Ryan. Philip Russell still leads the AM class, followed by Christian Glamsetter. Just a bit behind, but Russell, he's got Will Ryan ahead of him, and he's got some drafts as Andy Moore goes wide through the keyhole and gets overtaken by Rickard Bogberg. As we got a little bit of a shuffling of moves right here. Hey, you want some 3 wide action? We got it right here at Mid-Ohio. Heading into Harbor, and oh my goodness. How did that not end in contact right there? Carl Winkler
they're still alongside their championship rivals, remember, and well, it's still mathematically possible for Hussein to come back into the championship, but you'd put these two as really having a 95% chance at the title. So they didn't want to crash into one another, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. It did, and look at Stix driving it in deep. And crucially, Winkler now ahead of Stix. So he was able to make that move down the back straight. So really important move there for Carl Winkler, because he seems to have the pace in his teammate tonight, and he was the championship leader by a small margin heading into tonight with that race 1 win. He extended that a little bit, and he could extend that in race 2 here as well, as Stix already dropping off, so Winkler will soon be onto the back of Sandstrom. Also, Hussein is very close onto the back of Barb, and I think we might see a change for second position at the end of this straight.
Right now. Yeah, Hussein just put in the fastest lap. He's already right beside on the inside of Barb. Yeah, here he comes. He had a much better exit coming out of the carousel, much better last lap. And this fight is really going to be helping Newman up ahead, but the Doctor up into second place, putting more points into his pocket and trying to create some ground between Winkler and Stix, and they continue their inter-teammate fight with the championship lead. This could help out Hussein if he gets up to the lead as they stay down in 5th and 6th.
And that was Boberg trying to overtake Bahaj, but it didn't work for him. Boberg, though, you'd expect to be faster than the Dutch driver. That's the battle for third position. But yeah, Hussein very much, you'd back him to catch up to Newman from this point onwards. I mean, Newman's pace wasn't great in race 1, as Ryan has made a mistake. Deary me, had a horrible Lime Rock race, did Ryan. Had a much better race 1 here, although it was a bit of a dull race 1. Fortunately, he hasn't hit the wall, but he's lost, I think, about 5 seconds, and now it's mired in the amateur class category.
Yeah, Will Ryan not having the best time right there, as this is Hans close in on Bobber, and Bobber taking a much wider line throughout all these corners. Look how much time he's just gained on Rickard up ahead, as well the group has now caught up with Rickard right here. Here is the fight for fourth. Carl Winkler trying to catch up to Navdi Hussein, but Sandstrom is right there, and Sandstrom not going to be making this easy at all for Carl Winkler. Sandstrom lit up the tires off the line at the start, fell down 2 spots, and that's allowed Pascal Stix to get ahead of him, but Pascal Stix had that incident. He got that spot back. Navdi Hussein, though, did get easily past Sandstrom, and Sandstrom had probably the statistically worst start out of everybody, and oh, massive crash! That's Will Ryan.
Bahij, and that's, yes, that must have been Ryan going for the move. And,
No,
or was it a spin
Ryan was
beforehand
crashed.
and Clothier as well involved? Or was that a
I
separate
believe
incident?
I believe Will Ryan was spun around right here. No. Oh, he just got wide. Will Ryan tried to get down to the inside, and the Bind IT car, well, the Bind It car is binned. He's still out on track, so it's not as damaged as I think it is.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
But very unfortunate.
Oh, look at Winkler. I think he's going to be past it, and Sandstrom tries to take the normal racing line. I think Winkler's been able to tuck underneath. No, he hasn't. I thought he had that one, honestly. Carl needs to be getting past, because the good news for him is that Hussein isn't catching up to Newman hand over fist. But he does desperately need to try to get past. They are catching up to Barb as well, slightly. 0.2 of a second fast as they are kind of moving towards one another. This third place down to sixth place could all be a group within a couple of laps. And just a word as well for Philip Russell, doing really well up there in seventh place. He may have been carrying damage in race one, Russell, but he didn't seem to have a good pace in comparison to Glamset. Glamset was really catching up hand over fist. But in this race too, the Brits is keeping a bit of a margin. Still going to be close between those two championship contenders, but Russell with the edge at the moment.
Russell with the edge, and here comes Sticks. Russell with the edge, Glam Center right behind Russell, but not close enough as Pascal Sticks still trying to get pressure on Winkler. Winkler taking a much tighter exit off there and just trying to find some ground up here. But if you look at the leading pack, they're all separated by 3 seconds. All the pros in contention. The top 6 all separated by 3 seconds. Carl Winkler trying that outside move this time. Sandstrom is going to be forced to take a... Well, he was going to take a tighter line right there, but he just had enough room to take that inside line. And Carl Winkler is shaking his head like, come on, what am I going to have to do to get past this guy?
I don't know how that wasn't contact. I saw them touch, but that's crazy.
I don't believe there was contact there. Yeah, there was not contact right there, and that's going on the well, compilation of video of the weird sounds coming out of my mouth while casting.
Yes, got a whole selection of them. Can make a piano. That's what I reckon. Winkler is, well, Sticks now is putting a little bit more pressure on. It's interesting, this kind of keyhole section, because it seems like everyone gets in the power too early. It just seems like they're kind of dealing with so much understeer. There's no corner entry, you can understand that. You've got to be so, patient on the thoughts. It seems like Sticks got that one a bit better that time, albeit still not particularly close to the cars ahead. It's close for the lead because Newman had to go a little bit defensive against Hussein, but Hussein is well and truly now within that draft range. And whilst there is a bit of turbulent air, the draft effect is much stronger, I believe, in comparison. So we could see a change for the lead the next time round.
Yeah, we really got a lot. Really got a lot of race left. 15 minutes remain here to be right on board of Will Ryan as well, Ryan's just trying to get back into this race after that incident he had with Clothier. As this is Sven Newman and the Doctor battling out for the lead. And oh, he's made a mistake. He's gone wide of the carousel. Hussein's on the inside. Sven had a big wheel and round the outside, stretching out the legs and getting the speed on the straight. The Doctor is in the lead.
Clinical stuff from Hussein once he saw the mistake. He really seized on that opportunity. Newman tried to stay close. You can kind of stay within 4 tenths coming out of here. He might have a run, but he's too far back as Ryan.
Oh, no.
This is starting to go away from him now this evening for the Australian. Was battling with Shipley, but is now a long way off the circuit. Here comes Sandstrom. He's caught up to Barb. He's been catching by about quarter of a second for a while. Barb tries to go for the late block, but Sandstrom was already there. Barb. Is he going to be able to keep a nose in? He
Oh,
can
no,
do.
they make
Contact
contact.
between the two of them. Sandstrom runs wide and managing to get through the middle was Winkler, so it's still Barb at the head. Sticks also being able to get past Sandstrom, who now spins off. Has he got damage?
He's got
on
damage.
that
Look
contact?
at
And
that,
he
look at that
does.
right wheel. That right wheel was not on the ground right there. That slight wheel contact just absolutely wrecked that car. And, you know, there's going to be a bit of finger pointing happening in there with, well, I had the spot. It's a little bit aggressive move. And you know how this is going to be settled? It's going to be settled in the steward's room if both of them decide that this is going to end a little bit. But that is definitely a unfortunate incident for Sandstrom.
Get a replay of that one. I'm not quite sure. As you say, the stewards will be deciding that one. But I mean, personally, so I have so much faith in the stewards. I don't like to call it to myself, but so you spectators can have a look, and then you can see the amount of damage he's got. It's absolutely no chance. He must have felt quite nice as well. Just after that, he may have thought, "Oh, this isn't too bad," and then he turns into the corner and realizes he's missing a corner of the car. As Winkler has moved up to 3rd position, or has he? Trying to get past Barb. We're trying to go back live, people. Hang on with us. Winkler is up to 3rd position. He has passed the Frenchman.
Yeah, Carl Winkler up into 3rd, and now he's trying to catch up to Hussein. But Hussein is probably looking at his relative and just seeing him catch up. Here's a replay of the move. Carl Winkler got an amazing run down to the inside, not defended at all by Bard. As here's Winkler into the brakes. Got that inside line and comes across, covers it off. Textbook overtake right there.
They're now 4 seconds behind Hussein, though. Not going to catch by the end. There's Sandstrom. Probably contemplating whether or not he can be bothered to go back out onto circuit. He still wants to score points, I imagine. But isn't really fighting for the drivers or the team's title. Still maybe with an outside chance at 3rd place if Hussein maybe drops off a cliff. But, well, if Hussein keeps up this form, he could well become a championship contender. Ended like this, he would be the highest scoring driver this evening, as Styx is the next one to line up Barb, who does put up a bit of a bigger fight, but the outside line into this section of corners is really accessible in order to make an overtake. Barb maybe a little bit unnecessarily tight there, compromising his speed, but I don't think there was any stopping Pascal Styx. He moves up into 4th place, so he's keeping tabs with Winkler. And now we kind of move on to this next phase of the race where they're trying to catch up to their teammate Sven Newman.
Yeah, Sven Newman, he's a little bit up the road now, 3 seconds clear of Winkler, as the doctor is putting a gap to Sven. And, well, this race is definitely looking like the doctor's right here, unless something happens, but knowing him, nothing really outside of his control really gets him caught off guard right there, as you can see in the background of Winkler coming out of turn 1. It's just now trying to catch up to Sven Newman. Carl Winkler versus Newman is really going to be a fight that we're going to be really interested to see.
Yeah, for sure. Will be a good one as we see this fantastic graphic. Unfortunately, it went away now. I really like the lap time comparison graphic. It's my favourites of all the graphics. But all of them are very good on SDK. I don't know if Marco's trying to bring it back up now, whether he's just not showing it out to spite now. But here we go. So there's Russell. So Russell's actually catching up to Barb. I think that's just because of the overtakes, to be fair. That wasn't a very good use of the graphic. Good work there from Marco. But he is still kind of staying close here, Barb. Maybe quick enough to stay in the draft. And it's interesting, Austin, you know, you don't think of these cars, or certainly the F3 cars, as kind of slipstream machines. I remember a couple of seasons ago in the ARA F3 VRS Super Series, we had races at Okayama, even Silverstone, where drivers would kind of just follow each other home, you know, a second between each one, not being able to get much closer than that. it's really does show that the slipstream power of this car. That even around a circuit like Mid-Ohio, the slipstream seems to be more powerful than the turbulent air.
Yeah, slipstream is definitely overpowering of that turbulent air, and you can really see it with these cars right here. Everything is really looking all right as, oh, this is another incident for Clothier, as this is Hans getting past him, but that turn's been really catching people out here. 10 minutes remaining in race number 2.
Yeah, and another shout out to Virtual Racing School. Virtual Racing School offering 50 data packs for oval and road cars. They've got setups, track guides, one-on-one coaching, and also their fantastic data analysis software. Really useful kind of telemetry software that they've got. You can set your lap time, upload that data, and then that gets compared to one of the pros' lap times, and you can see exactly where you're losing time around a circuit. And yeah, it can really find you those extra few tenths of a circuit around each track. So do check out Virtual Racing School if you want to get faster on iRacing. And also another quick shout out to ApexRacingLeague.com, because this is an Apex Racing League series, and Apex Racing League offer many different series, not just this, the Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, but also we've got the Mazda Cups on a Monday, got the GT3s on a Tuesday, gonna have a new Super Truck series on a Wednesday, then it's the Xfinity cars on Thursdays, prototypes and Porsche Cup on Friday. F3 will be starting again soon, actually, on Saturdays. So do visit ApexRacingLeague.com to see what series are on offer, and also click on the Discord link in the description below, because that will that's the best place to see any new series announcements.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for the return of the Apex, well, of the Super Truck series. If you want to see what racing without track limits looks like, and a bunch of trucks and trucks getting airborne, there was a really good teaser given to me today. We might be visiting Laguna Seca, and yes, they get airborne underneath the corkscrew, and it is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh man, I haven't seen any footage of that yet, but that sounds like a lot of fun. Unfortunately, as defending champion, I can't race in it because I don't have a rig at the moment, but I would absolutely love doing that series. Best fun I've had for a long time on iRacing. So yeah, would thoroughly recommend it.
So if you're listening to this right now, it also means you have a chance to win the championship, as Sam has been banned from racing in there.
Yeah, too many contacts.
Too many corner cuts.
Yeah, 100 instants for a 15-minute race apparently is too many. Was Newman just getting a little bit held up by a back mark? It seems as though he's kind of got all right. It looked a little bit awkward for a moment there. I think that's Verheij, who he's just managed to get past. And Winkler not really making any impression on Newman at the moment. That last lap, Winkler closed him by a 10. But seeing that he's 2.7 seconds behind with only 6 minutes to go, he needs to be probably 0.3 of a second a lap faster, at least, really more like half a second, honestly, if he's going to catch by the end. This gap is coming down a little bit, so on the last lap they matched each other, did these two. And actually on this lap, Russell managing to extend it slightly, so 1.4 seconds the gap at the moment, or 1.2 seconds. I'm seeing contradicting values at the moment on my live timing, but it's around that region anyway. It has Glanstetter caught up. He has a little bit, so yeah, this is the part of the race where the tyres are starting to hurt, and maybe that will make an impact.
Yeah, a little bit of impact, a lot of smoke up here, and that's Sandstrom going slow. Does Sandstrom have an issue? He's just stopped, and he's pulled out of yeah, he's pulled out of the way.
I think
Sandstrom was last in the he was last in the standings, so I think that was just a I'm done, I'm out.
Yeah, must be feeling like he's been in a sandstorm in this race too. Very yeah, yeah, abrasive.
I
I
don't
did-
know
I-
what's
I-
going.
I
I
didn't-
don't know what's going to last longer this championship. Me dealing with your puns or these puns.
Yeah, it's that
How many
one.
rounds are left?
I'd only give that an 8 out of 10, honestly. If
How
I'm
many rounds?
totally honest. We've got
Okay,
another
we got 4 rounds.
3
I
to
know
go.
I can do this
Yeah,
forever.
9.
Thankfully for
Yeah.
everybody else, Sam will not be here next week. As Sam, we're
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks
You
from
gotta
now.
survive
Sam's
next
not
week.
gonna be here. Yeah, I have to survive
Monza next up.
Yeah, Monza's next week. Where will you be?
Well, I'll be here,
The-
at least.
No, wait. Anyway, Marco will be joining us in the booth when Sam will be gone. So, you know, everyone's ears will be rejoiced with Marco's smooth tones.
Yeah, we all do agree. I mean, it's ironic, isn't it, that the best commentator in here is doing the broadcasting. But yeah, we didn't decide that. Ramsetzer is doing using that mega steering lock once again. He does love using that steering lock every corner.
It
It's
seems
90
like,
odd degrees.
It seems like the tires have lost grip for Glamsetter, because that extreme steering angle is really the only way that he could get across these corners. And with less than 4 minutes, it does seem like tire wear is really struggling right now.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got a new Halloween movie coming out this week, but I'm pretty sure that steering lock is the most violent thing I've seen so far. Really is taking some big cuts. That's it. No
Yeah,
such problems.
Certainly is taking a few big cuts, making Jason a little bit jealous right there. And Michael Myers, though. Mike Myers doesn't really show any expression. His paw goes around, really struggling with the tires. He was all over the back end right there, but you know, his back end was really struggling with him, as it just seemed like he was getting a lot of ground and then losing a lot of ground, then gaining a lot of ground, and then the back end just goes out. Paul's not had a good day.
No, it's yeah, been a tough one for him. Apparently, a few of Paul's friends are watching in the YouTube chat, so if you are, welcome along. Hope you've enjoyed it, and do make sure to subscribe, and yes, do let your presence be known. We do love the fan clubs out in force. I don't feel like we get as many of them as we used to do on Apex Racing TV. Used to be very tribal in the YouTube chat. Not necessarily so brazened anymore, the viewers, but if you are just a casual viewer, then also welcome to the series. As Marin, who of course had a problem earlier on, had such a good start as well. Went from 7th to 4th, got up past, you know, two of the most competitive drivers in the series in the form of Sticks and Winkler, and then had a solo spin still on the cold tyres. He is coming back 35 seconds off the lead, but he could definitely pass more by the end of the race. He's still got another couple of laps.
One lap remaining here for the Doctor as they go through Thunder Valley. 2 laps? You sure?
Well, one more lap to go after this.
Yeah, one more lap after this. We're halfway through the lap. My American brain is saying the same thing as everyone else is saying.
By the way, Maureen will say
White
this
flag,
fast.
one
Sorry,
lap
this is
to go.
going very unprofessional all of a sudden. But yes, Maureen up into 9th position, past Andy Moore. So recovering those couple of paces. And of course, the Cube Racing team wants to keep tabs with Core Sim Racing in the team's tires, and Core, of course, as you can kind of see from this race, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, they've got a 1-2-3 back at Nürburgring earlier on the season. Super tricky team to rival, as Will Ryan is also trying to get past Shipley. Ooh, Shipley didn't leave a whole lot of space there, but Ryan's just got overwhelming speed. He's right in the perimeter of the circuit. These guys still with one more lap to go. They aren't quite 1 lap down.
Shipley
So
left all the
has
space he
got
needs
time
to
at
leave.
the racing driver.
I gotta say, Shipley left all the
Nice.
space he needed to be, but he didn't leave enough space for the corner right there. Goes wide and around in Thunder Valley. Sean Shipley and Will Ryan, very tight racing as right behind him through Thunder Valley. Here comes our leader, the Doctor, Navidi Hussein, is pulling away from everyone else.
Oh, we got the crabbing car ahead.
Yeah, that would be Shipley right there. One corner to go, and it is checkers. The Doctor will see you now. Navidi Hussein takes race number 2 victory, followed by Sven Newman and Carl Winkler in 3rd place. And here is our AM leader, Philip Russell. He's got Christian Glamcenter right behind. Glamcenter, no! Glamcenter is off in the carousel. Where is Bogberg? Rickard Bogberg is not going to be there in time. Glamcenter is going to take 2nd place. Glamcenter, oh, too deep in there. Too deep. Yeah, it was really on the edge. We were getting some off-track warnings from Glamcenter. Look how, oh my gosh, Christian. Well, you know what they say, last lap, all or nothing. You just look at that steering angle, trying to get in there. Nothing seemed like it wanted to slow that car down, get it back on track. Oh my gosh, he was using everything of his power to catch up to Philip Russell, as it is a smoke show here, laid down by the Doctor as he celebrates another win here.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier on, but how many race wins do you think that is now for Mr. Hussein? Dr.
2?
Hussein. So it is now 2, which for me is remarkably few. You think that we've had 2, 4, 6.
He's been very consistent.
Yeah, we've had 11 races so far this season, and he's only won 2 of them. And you know, that's a little bit disappointing, but the highest point scorer this tonight. So with that 1st and a 2nd, not sure what you know. You have the bonus point as well for 0 instance. I'm not sure if he picked up on either of them. But no, that is just what he needed heading into the second half of the season. The championship is still on.
Yep, championship fight is still on. Here are your full race 2 results. Navidi Hussein takes the win, followed by Sven Newman, Carl Winkler, Pascal Sticks, Loic Barb in 5th place. Philip Russell takes the amateur win, followed by Christian Glamcenter and Rickard Bogberg. Sebastian Morin in 9th, followed by Andy Moore, Will Ryan, Sean Shipley, Hans Verai, Paul Clothier, and Jesper Sandstrom. Bottom 4 not having the best races here, as they're going to be looking up for next week.
Yeah, I think next week should be a little bit more open as well with Monza. Had some big gaps between some of the drivers tonight, but I think Monza will be far more competitive with the big slipstream effect that you have in this car, as we are going to have some interviews. And so far I've only got one driver who's up for an interview, but I think he's the best driver to interview because Dr. Naveed Hussein is now in the commentary box with us. Congratulations, Naveed. You are the highest point scorer tonight. I believe that's the first time that has occurred this season. Congratulations. Oh no, it's not the curse of Formula Renault 2.0 interviews, is it? Naveed, can you hear us? Well, we kind of got used to this. Anyone who's tuned in for the previous weeks, Philip Russell is usually the guilty party more than anyone else. But we have had this, and speaking of him, well, I mean, could we go for the double here as well? Philip Russell joins us in the commentary box. Philip, can you hear us? Of course he can't. Of course he can't. Undoubtedly. I mean, this is absolutely classic. And Austin, I mean, do you want to have a chat with Carl Winkler? Because, I mean, this is absolute rendition of every other week this season.
You know, let's try. Let's try to bring Carl Winkler in here. Carl, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yay! We got one. Carl, you won race 1, and you came home in 3rd in race 2. how is Mid-Ohio treating you? And let's just walk us through this odd chicane layout.
I would say I struggled a lot in the beginning because I never drove the track before. But I think in the end we had a pretty decent setup, so it was very safe to drive. I had no off tracks or incidents in both races, so that was fine. Pace was also okay. I nailed the quali lap, and then usually had a bad start. I don't know, I have to work on that one. Then I catched Navid at some stage when he had a bit of a drift onto the long straight, and from there on I had my eyes, I think, like 70% of the time just in the mirrors, looking what he's doing, and was sweating a lot. And second race was playing the safe game again, bringing the points home, and when I was in third, I tried to catch Sven in the end, but the gap was so big that didn't make it in the end. But it was fine.
It looks like a very great race day overall for you, as I believe you. I think you and I believe you might have scored more points than the Doctor. I am not sure though. But yeah, the chicane. How different was driving this track with the chicane compared to with it without?
I don't think that the chicane is so difficult, to be honest. At least my setup was pretty planted there. It was fine. It was a bit of a struggle every time you get up the hill and then downhill, that the rear is like catching out, and then you have to lift the throttle in that cases. I think that was way more difficult. The chicane was all right. It was just hard to follow when you are like directly in the draft, and you had to back off a bit more.
Indeed. Well, next week, speaking of chicanes, there are not going to be any chicanes at Monza. So how are you prepared for that?
Praying. I think a lot of praying before the race, because I don't think there's a lot of pace differences between the drivers there. Just, I think, 3 braking zones. And apart from that, if you have someone in the draft, you will never get rid of him. So it will be, and I think it's B format as well. So even 3 races will be a lot of a lottery, I would say. So I will just try to survive.
All right. Well, we hope the odds will be ever in your favor. Carl, it was a great day. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Congrats to my teammates. Pleasure as well to drive. Congrats to Navid. He really had me in the first race almost, and I think he scored the day win actually. He finished first and second. I finished first and third, so I think technically he won. So congrats to him as well, and to you guys. I always enjoy your stream, so keep the good work ongoing.
Thank you, Carl. You have yourself a great rest of your day. Over to Sam, see if we can get Philip or the doctor. His mic's working.
Yeah, I've aged a lot this season because it's been very stressful throughout the ordeal that has been the interviews. So we're going to try it again. I'm going in with no hope whatsoever, but you never know. He may respond back. Philip Fiosso, can you hear us? No, you cannot. I don't know how long. Maybe I'm a fool to think that eventually it might work. Because we keep on trying, but Philip, very rarely does it work for us. So we're going to have another go with Dr. Navid Hussein. Navid, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful. Yes, very pleased about that one, as you should be very pleased with your results tonight, because you may have heard me before, but I was saying how for the first time this season you have ended up as the highest point scorer tonight. Congratulations.
Thanks, Sam. Yeah, it was a good race from my side. I didn't make too many mistakes. I think I made a little mistake in race 1 that let Carl by, but even at that, it would have been tough to keep him behind for the whole race, because he was super quick. As you can see from his qualifying lap, he was kind of the class in the field there today around this track. So happy to come away with at least one win. It always feels good. So happy days.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk us through the dummy in race 1. We were taken aback by it. I'm sure Carl was. It was quite an ambitious move.
Yeah, like he went defensive, and then I looked to my right and I could see him start to move back towards the racing line to the left, so I knew there was a car space on the right, and I thought, well, he's made his defensive move now, so he can't move again So I went over and he just swerved ever so slightly to the right. Look, it is what it is. It was kind of ambitious from me, but I would have thought I could have kind of taken that line in there, but I ended up on the grass and then I was backed out of it. I've done that so many times, people should just see it coming by now. It's like my party trick. It's terrible.
We've got another driver actually in a few other leagues called Danny Lee, who is similar, where you can kind of sit for a mile off, but it really took us back because we were thinking, oh, you're just backing out of it like you have done on the other laps, and then all of a sudden you dart to the inside. Love the effort. It would have been miraculous if you it will still go on social media, but it would have been even better if you had been able to pull it off. Next week we've got Monza, and actually just a general word on this championship, because we've still got 3 rounds to go. You've cut into certainly Pascal sticks a bit tonight. How do you rate your chances at taking this title, because you're not far off the core guys?
I think if they get like some power cuts in their like neighborhoods, I might be able to do it. But like, no. If at the start of the season, if I'd have been familiar with the car, maybe. But like, it's still kind of new to me. There's still some things I'm trying to work out with it, and no, I don't see myself winning or challenging Pascal or Carl for that matter. But look, if I can get some race wins between now and the end of the season, I'll be happy.
Definitely. You're 36 points behind, by the way. You got Winkler and Sticks now tied on points, 5-3-1 each, and then yourself is 4-9-5. So we wish you the best of luck for that one, Naveed. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, everybody at Igneo Motorsports. Thanks so much for the continued support and the lovely liveries and practicing and stuff, trying to get better, and thank you guys in commentary for the great commentary and everybody setting up the Apex League, and thanks to my family watching at home. That's it. Thanks very much.
Awesome. Thanks for having a chat with us, Naveed, and best of luck next week.
Yes.
And just a quick mention again of those points: 531 points each, Austin, after 5 meetings. Crazy close.
It is a lot of craziness happening right here, but hey, that's why we love it. It was a fantastic race here at Mid-Ohio. Monza is next week without the chicanes, and like we said, a lot of praying is going to be having there. It's going to be a lot of fun up here in the booth. Stay here next week, same time, same place. Thank you all for joining us here for the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0 Championship here at Mid-Ohio. I've been joined by Sam Fitzpatrick, Marco Balboneri in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.